This is Rohan from Talkboxing Media here with the one, the only Sajid Abid. Firstly, Sajid, how are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, Ryan. How you doing?
I'm good. Firstly, I just want to say thank you for letting me down here.
No problem, mate. Pleasure is mine. It's nice to get you accustomed to these kind of things, but no, good. Thanks for coming.
So I'm just going to get straight into it now. So you had your last fight against Fons Alexander. I just want you to reflect. It was in Derby. I just want you to reflect on your last fight and what you learned and what you took from your last fight.
Yeah, so the last fight was it was a stay active fight, so it wasn't anything too difficult. It was more so to utilize new things that I've been doing with my new trainer. Personally, I could have stopped Fons at any moment, but I wanted to do the whole 6 rounds, get the things across, and yeah, good tidy performance.
Yeah, so obviously you want to move on to better and bigger things. You know, you box in a super lightweight division, a stacked division. So what do you want next for yourself? Is it the titles? And obviously you want to stay active this year.
Yeah, so I've got my next fight should be for the English title. That will happen around September time. It's not officially been announced yet, but we're waiting on your backroom thing, should I say? But yeah, so I'm coming for the titles. You know, I want to push through the rankings, get as far as I can with it.
Obviously, every boxer wants to stay active. You know, a new year comes, every boxer wants 3 or 4 fights per year. What are you looking to do? How many fights are you trying to get out
Exactly
this year?
that, to be fair. If I get this fight boxed off in September, it will be my 3rd fight of the year. So I've been relatively active this year. So, you know, to top it off with the 3rd fight being for the English title, if I can end the year as English champ, I'll be happy for the year.
So I hopefully you win this English title. So is it your goal to defend the title and then go on to bigger things? Or
yeah, of course, win it, defend it, move on forward. Next British, European, world, whatever comes my way.
you know, you're in a stacked division, the super lightweight division. You know, domestically and globally, it's a stacked division. What's your thoughts on the super lightweight division, and who do you see the top dog?
It's, like you said, an incredibly stacked division with a lot of talent. You know, look at Adam Azim here in UK. We have Adam Azim, we have Jack Cattrall, Josh Taylor, O'Hara Davis. We have here in the UK alone a incredible amount of talent. You know, personally, I like being in this division because I know that every fight that's coming my way, the more I move up, the more difficult it's going to be. So, you know, I love a test. I will never shy away from anyone. If they say, listen, Saj, you know, next year we want you to fight whoever in the top 5 super lightweights in the UK, I'll be like, yeah, let's do it. I'm down.
Yeah, but who? So obviously, globally, it's a stacked division as well. You know, you had Josh Taylor, but Josh Taylor's recently lost, and I think he's going to be moving up to 147. You know, who do you see the top dog in the division?
There's a lot of talent in that division, man. So we're talking. Well, Lopez is retired, hasn't he? He retired.
Yeah, well, that's the talk, but you know.
Yeah, you never know. You know, with boxing, once you have a bug, you get straight back into it, man. You can say you retired as much as possible. Look at Tyson Fury, for example.
Yeah.
But who do we have? We have obviously Teofimo Lopez. You have Lomachenko moving up that way. Garcia, Tank, Haney, and I'm sure there's talks of Shakur Stevenson's moving up that way.
Yeah.
So personally, it's you can't put them apart. You know, each one of those fights against you is an amazing fight to happen. So, you know, it's exciting times ahead. It's just one of those things where let's just hope these fights get made.
Yeah. So I just want to talk about so obviously there's many upcoming fights and past fights that have just gone, and I just want to know your thoughts on them. So starting off with Haney versus Lomachenko, what were your thoughts on that? Obviously a lot of controversy.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tight fight, but to class it a robbery, you know, these are 2 elite level fighters. Of course, there's not going to be much between them when it comes to the actual fight. So for people to call it a robbery, you know, I'm not too convinced of that. I can only go on what I've read and what I've seen online because I've not actually watched the fight yet. But for one, people are saying Lomachenko got robbed. But on the other hand, people are saying it was a close fight. It could have gone either way.
So recently in April we had Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia. What were your thoughts on that fight?
I thought it was fantastic. The fact that both of them were brave enough to put their O on the line when nothing really was. There was no title on the line or anything. They're just 2 up-and-coming fighters who just wanted to give the fans, you know, a good fight, and that's what they did. All credit to Ryan Garcia. You know, not many would take the Tank fight. He did it. He did it. Didn't go his way, but his stocks would have rose.
Yep. So I just want to talk about obviously Josh Taylor and Teofimo Lopez. You know, there's talks that Josh Taylor was like the weight wasn't the right weight for him. You know, he was drained at the weight. What's your thoughts on what do you think about Josh Taylor now moving on?
There's been talks about for a while now. You know, he said the same thing against Catterall when, you know, in my opinion, Jack Catterall won that fight, and a lot of other people's opinions. His excuse was his weight drained. But if that's the case, move up weight, simple as, instead of putting himself in that same position where he's performing not as good as he can. You know, it wasn't the best performance against Lopez. Lopez completely bossed him. And one can argue that if a super lightweight is bullying you, then what will happen when you're fighting fully fledged welterweights? So, you know, personally, I think he should fight a welterweight just to see how it goes, to go from there.
Yeah, just want to move up to the heavyweights. You know, there's this rumor about this Saudi tournament that's happening where there's 2 fights on the same night. Fury and Usyk, the undisputed fight, and Deontay Wilder versus AJ, which is a fight that's been brewing for the past few years. Do you think it will happen, and what's your thoughts on those fights?
It's just money talks, isn't it? Like, you wave X amount of millions in front of a fighter, they can talk as much as they want. They're probably going to take it, aren't they? You know, so I can see it happening if the money's right. You know, it just comes down to money. All these fighters, all these heavyweights, they just have to have a big payday. So, see what happens.
Yep. So, just like your thoughts on those fights, Wilder, AJ, Fury, Usyk.
I'd actually find the Wilder AJ fight quite interesting. Both have come off losses. Both people have what's the word I'm looking for? Criticised for their lack of skill set. But you gotta give it to them the fact that they've been world champions for such a long period of time. But I think it's a fight that can go either way. You know, both can bang. So could be a fight that ends early.
Yeah.
Usyk and Fury. Now both fighters are technically really gifted. Like, as far as the heavyweights division is concerned, these guys are the most gifted, talented, technical fighters going. Look how well Tyson Fury moves. Look how well Usyk moves, and not only that, they can both hit. So, in my opinion, I think Tyson Fury will win it solely because of his size. You know, at that size, with that reach, and the way he boxes, you can just keep him at range. But at the same time, saying that, Usyk moves really well. So, it is in my opinion, Tyson Fury win.
Yep, just moving on to, you know, the negative sides of boxing. You know, there's a situation that's brewing on with Eubank Benn being back on, and many people and many pundits and many boxers criticising this fight because obviously Benn's got a situation with UCAD. What's your thoughts on this whole situation, and moving forward, how can it all be resolved?
Personally, I think Benn should get cleared by UCAD to begin with. Once he's cleared by that drug testing facility, fight as many times as you want, I don't care. But it's the same thing. It's a money fight. You know, two household names throughout generations. Of course, people want to see them fight simply because of their dads. That brings in views. That'll bring in money. So I can see it happening solely because of that, and especially considering how Eubanks lost to Smith. You know, this is a good way to stay relevant.
Yep. So now moving on to yourself again. So you're going to be fighting for the English title in your next fight, I believe. Yep. So what's the date and where's the location going to be?
At the moment, none of that's been confirmed. We're looking around September time, potentially your call, but I can't 100% confirm it. So look around September time.
Yep. So just tell the fans why they should tune in and buy tickets to watch you fight.
So, if you've been to my last couple of fights, then you know how exciting it gets. If not, ask anyone who's been to my last couple of fights, then they'll speak on my behalf. So, if you're free, come down.
Yep. So you want to shout out any sponsors, any message to the fans?
Yeah, 100%. So, you know, without my sponsors, I wouldn't really get to where I am now. They play a massive, integral part of my career. They're a part of my team. So I'd like to give a big special thanks All Day Clinic in Derby, Elite Osteo in Derby, JS Tiling Derby, and Prestige Sofas in Derby. These guys have played their part, and you know they're pushing me towards my towards my goal. So without him, I couldn't get to where I am. So thank you.
Yep. So Sajid, wishing you the best in your next fight. Go get that English title and moving on to better and bigger things. Thank you again, and just moving on to bigger and better things.
My man, thank you.
Thank you.